Oh my gosh, you guys, this is the #1 highlighter ever made. This is phenomenal. Alright you guys, there's a lot to cover today, so I will have the timestamps in the description box below, as well on this time bar right here. And you can also watch this video in 4K. We are going to create this I'm cold, #I'mCold makeup look. So I hope you enjoy this. Grab a snack, drink a water, and let's start this video. Alright my beautiful glam sisters, let's jump right into it. So I have the brand new Rare Beauty Under Eye Brightening. It's more of a corrector than a concealer, and I think we have to look at it that way. So this comes in 6 shades, and this is Rare Beauty's brand new Positive Light Under Eye Brightener. It runs $24. You get about 0.13 fluid ounces in 4 mils. I'll put the price per mil right there. So I picked up light, and I also picked up light medium. So let's just tackle light really quick. This was way too light for me, and this is described as a neutral undertone to brighten fair to light complexions. And then I also picked up light medium, which we're going to demo that one today, and that's pink undertones to brighten light to medium complexions. The spoolie has that cooling tip, a lot like the Dominique Cosmetics Wide Awake concealer, but the Dominique one is more of a concealer. This is more of an under eye, I would say more like a skin treatment type deal. You do get that cooling effect. I do like Dominique Cosmetics better. I think it actually scooped out the product a lot better. This one is hit or miss. You're gonna waste a lot of product, and it was kind of, as soon as I unscrewed it, it just kind of splattered. So be mindful of that. Really take it out carefully. They call this the No Makeup Essential, which visibly reduces dark circles and discolorization for a refreshed look fast. Available in an array of flexible shades with an ultra fluid formula that makes blending quick and seamless while soothing the skin on contact. So let's take a look at this color in studio. I already showed you guys what it looked like up close. This is the light medium, and this is the one I kept. And then this is the applicator. But you can see most of the product is on the wand and not a lot, I don't know if you guys can tell, but not a lot on the actual tip of the silver cooling tip. Now, I don't have any makeup on right now. I only have my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. I have my Drmtlgy skincare products. I have my Drmtlgy water cream, which is just incredible. And I mix that with my booster from Drmtlgy, and that just makes all of your moisturizers so much better. I highly recommend during the winter and cold months. I also recommend this. This is the Drmtlgy Brightening Eye Masks. You guys, I had these on while I was kind of doing my hair and stuff. My eyes, my under eye area is so incredibly hydrated. By far, this is the best under eye masks, and these have lasted me a long time. So I absolutely, absolutely love them. I would always recommend keeping, I have the spatula, I dropped it somewhere today, so I have to find it, but it does come with a little spatula, but that's what the product looks like inside. They're just nice and smooth, and they stay on really good, really good. This is amazing. So you can use my code Kristi20 at checkout. If you're new here, it's the only skincare I can personally use and I love, and I just personally stand by it. My skin looks dramatically different from where it was last year, and it's all because I've only used Drmtlgy. That's it. So that's all I have on, and now let's just get into the application, and we're gonna try this out. Again, that cooling tip. We're just gonna roll that like this. We'll see if this works just as good as my Sephora one. You guys know, if you haven't checked out my video, I just uploaded an affordable makeup tutorial, and I found so many incredible affordable finds. Wow, this is super cooling. Wow, and I didn't even have this like in the refrigerator. This is like, it feels so good, I don't even want to stop. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. So you can, if you're doing a no makeup look, that's what it looks like, the coloring for light medium. So if you're similar to me, which I'm typically light skin toned, light, sometimes light medium when I have a self tan on, make sure you use your ring finger. And if you're doing a no makeup look, I would suggest just rolling this on with your finger. Just gonna pop that in there. And I'm just gonna kind of pat that in. But that Sephora Bright Future Skin, that one you can use more as a concealer. So this one is nice though, I kind of like it. Okay, I didn't know if I was gonna like it, to be honest. I was kind of getting frustrated with the applicator, and I would recommend, if you're using this more as a treatment and because it feels so cooling on the eye, I would recommend doing it underneath your foundation, unless you're going to try to use this as a concealer. But if you want any type of coverage, you're still going to need another concealer. So I would definitely recommend doing this underneath, whether you do liquid or powder foundation. Definitely I would recommend doing it. And I wouldn't recommend doing this over your concealer. If you're doing a full coverage concealer, I would do it underneath. That's not what these are meant for. Although it says you can do that, I still wouldn't recommend it. Plus it's gonna disrupt your concealer. And I still truly believe, and it's just my opinion, that women over 40 especially should be setting down their concealer with powder. Whether it's a lightweight powder or no matter what it is, it's just really important to set that down so that we don't get the creasing, because you know, we're not spring chickens anymore. That is really beautiful. Do you see how that just kind of brightened my under eye area, but there wasn't any coverage? This is a true no makeup concealer brightener type deal, where I would put this on like maybe before I go to the gym or something like that, just to make my eyes look a little bit more awake. As you can see right here, and right here, I have dark circles right there. I haven't been sleeping that good. So I don't think it has enough pigment in there like the Becca one or the Bobbi Brown one, but it helps a little bit. I really like how hydrating, yet looks like I have nothing under my eye, but gave it a little bit more brightening. And then now I'm just going in with my iconic London mixed in with my Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. All right, so you could go over it again and try to build it up. I don't know if I would recommend that. And again, with the cooling tip, I just feel like it's going to start lifting the foundation. So personally, I wouldn't do that. I'm going to go in with concealer, and I am going to try a different one today. I've been playing with it off camera and I really like it. But I am going to, before I put this on, I'm going to do a little bit of, just a little bit more brightening with a little bit more coverage. And I just talked about this in my favorites, or I'm sorry, my affordable makeup video that I just did. And this is by far, even though it's not new, this is my concealer of the year for mature skin. It is literally incredible. Again, this is the Bright Future. In that video, I demoed 10.5 and shade 8. So if you want to check that out, this is shade 7.5. And I'll put the shade right there. They don't have the arm swatch online of the 0.5s. They must have added that on before they took those stock pictures. But I tried this out in store and I really liked it. So I picked it up right before the sale ended a couple weeks ago, or a week ago now. I can't remember when that was. But this is what 7.5 looks like. This is a really beautiful shade. I'll show you what it looks like up close. Again, outside of my studio and just natural daylight. And then I'll show you kind of what it looks like in studio. It's gonna look a little bit lighter just because of all my lights. So always keep that in mind, but it is just so much hydration there, but it gives you that extra coverage. I love, love, love this product for $15 and then 30% off. I'd wait till the sale. You don't have to do it now unless you really want it. Unless you really want to try it right now for $15, it's still not bad. But if you really want a good deal, then just wait till the sale comes in April, end of March, April. Typically, it's not that far from here. So this is 7.5, and we're just gonna kind of do a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm gonna use the Addison Rae one. So just gonna do a very minimal amount, and I'm just gonna take, I really like this brush. This is from Tarte. This is like their C concealer brush. I've been using it with this product, so it already has it on there. I'm just gonna show you guys. So if you leave it on a little bit longer, you're gonna get more coverage. Now this definitely has a pink undertone, but that's okay, because that's gonna cancel out some of the dark area I was talking about a second ago. This is obviously a lot more affordable, 26 versus 15. big difference. So if you're looking for something like this, but it doesn't have the cooling tip, but you want that brightener kind of color corrector type deal situation. Now remember, color correctors depend on what you're color correcting. So don't just go, oh, I think I'm peach, or oh, I think I'm pink. You want to make sure you know what you are depending on what your under eye entails. And I'll put right there, I can't remember off the top of my head if you're purple or I can't remember green, what you're trying to correct. This does not crease the Sephora one, but again, you're not getting a ton of coverage. But I built it up the other day with the shade 8, which I really like, more of a yellow undertone, and it looked really beautiful, like flawless. But I do want to try this out just in case anybody was interested in, and this is the Item Beauty from Addison Rae, the huge TikToker. This is, I don't watch her on TikTok because I've never seen an Addison Rae TikTok. I know she's really popular though. But this is in shade 200. So these really, really run dark. So what you think you are, you're going to be a lot lighter. And this is more of, I think, more of a yellow undertone, like a beige yellow undertone. Here, I'll show you in studio real quick. So I'm just going to put a little bit right there. I think we're going to try sponge first, just because I let it sit down there for a little bit. And we're just going to blot that in. And then go in right away, make it Forever Puff, one size 2R, my use. I always use a little bit of my airbrush powder just to kind of mesh everything together. This Charlotte Tilbury, there's just really nothing in this world that compares to it. It just makes everything. I can have the worst foundation and put that powder on and it just makes everything better. I'm gonna go in with my Sephora. You guys already know, and I'm just gonna do this quick. All right, we're gonna do more of a softer eyeshadow look today because with this I'm cold look, it's not necessarily like dramatic eyes. You can create it however you want. It's more concentrated on the blush and the highlighter, but I still want to do something with my eyes. So Pat McGrath just launched her Star Wars collection for 2022. She does this, I want to say a few years now, where she's released some of her Mothership palettes in a Star Wars packaging. So I did not order the Mothership 6 Midnight Sun palette in this Star Wars packaging because I already own it in the regular packaging. So this is just the regular Mothership. It's really dirty, and then that's what those shades look like. This is one of my favorite Mothership palettes. I'll show you the one that's my number one, and this would probably be number 2 for me. I just really love the tones in this. I'm going to start off with Pat McGrath Statuesque. You guys know this is like my go-to transition shade. And there really isn't a shade like this in that Mothership 6 palette. And the shade in here is more warm, and I want this look to look more cool. So I'm going to show you the difference. This is Statuesque on its own, where it has neutral, a little bit of warmth, but more neutral. In person, it's definitely more neutral, cool almost. And on the monitor though, I don't know how it's going to pick up when I'm editing. It looks more warm, but in person it's definitely more neutral. And then this shade right here, which she calls her structure shades, is just her matte shade. It's really beautiful as well. We'll mix a little bit of that in, but this one is definitely has more depth. This one. That's the one in the Mothership 6 palette, and then that's the Statuesque. So you can really see that's a lot warmer, and that's a lot more neutral, cool. And I definitely want this look to be leaning more on the cool side. So I don't know if we're gonna use this one or not, but that's the Mothership one. It's really beautiful. But definitely more for a warm look. I think that will look prettier when I use the greens and stuff like that. I'm using the Rose and Ben E28. If you guys are not familiar, Rose and Ben is a really famous, amazing makeup artist on Instagram and TikTok. She also has a YouTube channel, and I learn so much from her. She's like right now the one I just probably watch the most out of any other beauty influencer. If I'm watching YouTube, it's typically other stuff, but I really love, love, love and adore her. She's amazing, and she came out with her own brush line, and I use her blush brush all the time. And I wanted to try the E28 because she uses it in all her videos and it looks incredible. So I'm gonna pop that into this shade, Statuesque. and I'm just gonna take it on the tip right there, and I'm gonna kind of use her motions that she always does. I learn a lot from other makeup artists. That's who I typically watch on YouTube or Instagram. Focusing on the center, and then I'm gonna pull the remainder of what's on the brush on to the outside because I really want the pigment to be more in the center with this look. So look at how soft that placed that in. And it just gave some depth to the eye, but not too much. And then I'm gonna soften it out even more later. Again, just focusing on the center. Her theory is picking up enough product where you don't have to do this. And I know I do that all the time. I think we can always learn from each other. I think it's so important to always keep your mind open and learn from others. Now I'm gonna take my Sigma E61 that you guys know I just love and blend the heck out of it. So I think what I'm gonna do first is I am gonna lay down that purple, okay? And I'll show you what this purple looks like. And then I'm gonna put this first shade over it. And let me swatch those. Really creamy, really beautiful. I mean, that purple is insane. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with my Danessa Myricks. Now, you can, to make these astral shades, these special shades that Pat McGrath does, like this one and even that gold one, they are more dry formulas. So they're similar to what Makeup by Mario created, but his are creamier, I will say that, but these stick better. And I just feel like they're even, I just think they're prettier in my opinion. Just in my opinion. Really pretty. So what you could do is you can take like, this is the artistry one I always talk about. I've talked about in the last few Pat McGrath videos. I purchased it when I got the holiday palette and I really like it. So what you can do is you can take that astral shade, that lighter one, and go over that and see how that just gave it a little bit more of a wet effect versus that was dry. So you can do it that way. I prefer to do it that way when I'm doing literally no eyeshadow look, like I'm not using a base. But because we already have an eyeshadow base, I found that the wand starts to disrupt that a little bit the more I was playing with it. So I only like to do this when I'm really just kind of doing more of a simple glitter look. But for this look, I don't really want to do that. So I'm gonna take, I want a little bit more oomph. So I'm gonna take my Danessa Myricks, and this is in Milky Way. This a little goes a long way. Like that was way too much. You're not gonna use that much. But do you see how incredible that is? So I'm gonna take it on to this BK Beauty, and this is the A505, I wanna say. I find that if you go like this, it never really works out good for you. This is just gonna give it a little extra oomph, almost like what the artistry one would do, but this is a little bit, it won't disrupt my base, and it will give it a little bit more staying power than even the artistry one. So it's already dried down, so that's why you really wanna do a smaller amount than I did. I was trying to exaggerate it so you guys can see what it looks like. What I'm gonna do, just to play with it a little bit, is you can leave it like that. You can take this shade and just literally go over the top, and do you see how beautiful that would be? Gorgeous. That's what I was thinking about just doing. Or you can play it up a little bit, which I'm thinking we're just gonna do that because YOLO. So we'll take a little bit of the purple, just a little bit. I'm just gonna dot that in. I'm just gonna give it like a little bit of a violet. This is a way to do it without being too aggressive, okay? I'm just taking it on my finger because the brush will put too much pigment. So this is best just doing it with your finger. And because we laid more of that Milky Way white base down, we didn't have to worry about it being too aggressive. That's actually really pretty. Okay, see, sometimes we just learn how we want to do things. Look at that. Over that, it just made it very subtle and wearable. Oh, that's beautiful. That color is insane. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that first shade and we're gonna go on the inside and the outside a little bit. Like a beautiful light pinky nude. And I'm just gonna place that right there. This will go pretty with like the pink blush look that we're doing. Ooh, that's so pretty. Oh, You guys, that is gorgeous. We're gonna go back into statuesque now, and then we're just gonna kind of work that in here just to make sure that we have some definition back in there. I think to give us a little bit of definition, we're gonna put in a little bit of the brown, and we're gonna do a little bit of a, wait for it, a little bit of a wing, just a little one. I'm just gonna do like a baby one, and I'm just gonna go like right here. And I'm actually gonna blend that out even more. I'm just trying to get the shaping of what I want in there. And I'll clean that up and sharpen it out. So because I don't want that harsh line right there, I'm gonna take like the brown and start to kind of maneuver that in there. I'm gonna take this Chikuhodo, just a pointed fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go over that and just blend. I'll blend it almost till it's like a gradient effect. I don't want any harsh like wing liner look. I just want a little bit of definition there. I'm gonna dip into my Melt Cosmetics Brunette palette, and I'm gonna go into this one. This is that perfect neutral brown, like perfect. And I'm just gonna go really light right there. I just want a little bit of depth, just a little bit. I don't want too much. I'm gonna kind of match that wing a little, just like that. Not a lot. Now we're gonna take this beautiful special shade from the Pat McGrath. So pretty. I'm really getting, this is best with your finger. I'm really getting it saturated onto my finger, and we're gonna press that all over the lid now. Oh my goodness, look at that special shade. Now I'm going to take the Rare Beauty highlighter, and we're going to pop that into the inner corner. So pretty. So I finished off the final look with the new Kiss collaboration with Meredith Duxbury, and these are the angel eyes. I did the Disco Groovy in the last video, ended up ordering 2 more of those, and I will be ordering more of these tonight. Oh my goodness, you guys, they're on sale at Ulta as I'm filming, but I don't know by the time I upload, because it will be after Christmas most likely, if it will be available. So hopefully you guys will see my community post, because I'm gonna post it tonight to get your hands on these lashes. They're like $5 and something cents right now at Ulta. And Ulta usually runs a lot of sales with Kiss all the time. So even if you miss it this time, these are really beautiful lashes. They killed this collaboration. What I ended up doing off camera is I went in with this color right here, and it's more of like a taupey color. It is beautiful, almost like a silver background. That purple was gonna be too intense, but this ended up being a perfect like transition shade to go in from the purple metallics from the Pat McGrath palette into the matte shade. So in retrospect, I would have not used statuesque, even though it's beautiful. It was pulling too warm for me. I would have just gone in directly with the brunette shade, and that is tan. That is just like the perfect dark chocolate brown, but not too dark. It just has that perfect blend. It's really beautiful. I would have just used that, and then did the Pat McGrath shades from the Mothership 6 palette, and then I just transitioned that purple metallic with the mixed in with the lighter color in that Pat McGrath palette. I would have just used that one, and that was perfect. That blend was perfect. I went in with my just my Marc Jacobs brush. This is not available anymore because obviously Marc Jacobs isn't around anymore, but just any kind of flat fluffy brush like that. Chanel has a ton of these, like just any shadowing brush. I just went in like just really lightly with that, and I just transitioned between those 2 shades and pressed that in, and it gave that perfect gradient blend. And then I ended up taking the leftovers and just going over it, and that just, it literally came out like butter. This is one of the most magnificent palettes ever made, this Viseart Bridal 03 Satin palette. It's now available at Sephora again, so really gorgeous, like really gorgeous palette. I don't know, there's something about that formula, and there's something about that Melt formula that I just always go back to those. When I need a good look, I will only use those palettes. So I love it. And then for bronzer, I didn't want a lot of bronzer because if you take a look at the I'm Cold makeup trend, some of the top ones that I picked out that I really liked, although they're different eyeshadow looks than I did, the concentration again is the blush, right? The blush has to look like you are literally out in the blizzard and you're freezing and you're getting that natural redness, which we're gonna pop in just a second. But you don't want a lot of bronzer because that will take away from that look. So what I did is I just went in with this Dior Backstage, and this is actually a transition, more of like a setting powder, but I did it in a deep shade. I think this is 6N. This is like that perfect shade to go in and just give like a really nice, it looks orange in my monitor and I don't know how it's gonna pop up when I'm editing, but it really is soft. As you can tell, like you can barely see it on me. It's a really soft color. Although that swatch looked aggressive, it's really softening. It's a really, really beautiful shade. And I just took it in with my Hakuhodo brush, or any brush works, and I just lightly went over it like that. Just a little bit. And then what I did was I took my powdered brush that I use and I just went over that because I didn't want the bronzer to be aggressive. I just wanted it to be very, almost just that perfect structure. And see how softening that is? Oh, that is beautiful. I'm probably going to be using this more in the winter. So as far as highlighters go, we're going to stick to the Rare Beauty because we are reviewing this and I just want you guys to see how incredible. I wish I had the Mesmerize because it is more of a pinky highlighter. This is more of a champagne. This is my favorite for every day. This highlighter is insanely beautiful. I love my Jaclyn Hill Sparks. This just took icing over that. This is one of the most incredible formulas for a highlighter. It has that same baked formula as my favorite Jaclyn Hill one, and as well as my Pat McGrath one from a long time ago that's not available anymore. It has that same type of concept and softening effect, a lot like the Hourglass powders. They don't enhance texture, they give a glow and an intense glow. It is beautiful, absolutely stunning. I love the packaging. This is Exhilarate. These highlighters are based off of her Positive Light liquid luminizing highlighters. The liquid version runs $22. These do run $25, so a few dollars more for a pressed formula. But I'm not into liquid, so I'm really happy she came out with this. This is called the Positive Light Silky Touch highlighter. Now it does say it's transfer proof, smudge proof, and water resistant. So that's pretty awesome if you want to use this during the summer and you're sweating or going in the pool or doing stuff like that. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant, so it will stay pretty good. So I'm going to do my highlighter first. I typically like to do that when I want it to kind of melt. And really the blush is what's supposed to stand out in this look. And I want you guys to see what this highlighter looks without the blush. So I am going to take my Wayne Goss airbrush. Hopefully this is available again. This is so pretty. I just cleaned this brush. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that color is insanely beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh, let me show you on my finger. That's when you get the most intensity. It's just so creamy and beautiful. This is like that perfect highlighter for mature skin, where it gives us that glow, especially us ladies over 40 that really want to have a glam, intense look, but we don't want to accentuate our fine lines and wrinkles. So thank you, Selena Gomez, for giving us a really beautiful highlighter to work with. Just, you guys, seriously, #1 highlighter ever made. This is the #1 highlighter. It is beautiful, stunning. Does it get any better? Seriously, does it get any better? Oh, and you really want that highlight to be pretty defined on the tip of your nose for this look. Oh my gosh, you guys. I cannot. Look at that wet effect without emphasizing texture. Hands down. This used to be my #1 highlighter, but I stopped talking about it because it's not available anymore. This is now. I want every single shade. And they look really pretty as eyeshadows as well. I used it as an eyeshadow the other day and I was like, so pretty. All right, let's get my blush brush little jar here. These are all my blush brushes. And we are gonna go in with the Natasha Denona, and this is the My Dream Cheek Blush Highlighter Palette. And I'm gonna use the blush. It is literally my favorite blush ever made. I literally cannot, I need Natasha just to come out with just the blush. I need that separately. I don't know why I'm going like this. There's no powder. It's more of a cream to powder. Okay, so this look is gonna require more right here, more on the apples of the cheek. And I'm gonna do powder over this, but more like right here because we wanna bring it into the center of the face. And I like to do this first. It just gives me lasting blush all day. So you're gonna just kind of bring over the leftovers. I wouldn't start in the middle. I'd start here where you want the most pigment and then bring the leftovers into the middle of the face. Okay, I know it's not as intense as the other girls, but I need to do my version of it. Okay, now I'm gonna take my favorite powdered blush right now, and this is the Sephora collection in Shame on You. I love this color. We just went over it. I just applied it. I know, it's just my favorite, you guys. Taking it on my Rose and Ben C41, and then we're just gonna go over that just to intensify it even more. This is why you didn't want to do too much bronzer, because you really wanted this to be the focal point. And I'm just gonna take that up here into my eyeshadow almost. And then I'm gonna take the same, this Wayne Goss number 16 brush, that blush we were using, and I'm actually gonna bring that in to the eyeshadow look, just to make everything monochromatic and like it's tied in together. All right, let's start off with the highlighter because it's magical. This is 5 out of 5 stars. 100% of me would recommend this highlighter. It is literally breathtaking. And what I love mostly about it is that any age group can use it. This is not a highlighter that is just geared towards young girls. I'm almost 45 and I can rock this highlighter. So I would have to say this is a product of 2022 for me. This is just chef's kiss, the most amazing highlighter. As far as the Rare Beauty Eye Brightening, I don't even want to call it a concealer because it's really not a concealer. I have to say this is a really good one for under your makeup or just on natural days. I just don't know how much I would utilize it. So that's my only thing. I think I like my Sephora ones a little bit more for the price difference, but I really love the cooling tip on that. So that's the one thing. I just want to keep playing with it more. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's not bad. But it's definitely not, don't buy it thinking I'm gonna get a lot of coverage out of this. I would buy it more for just something to brighten up when you're just running errands or something like that, or not. So there's a lot of people that don't like to wear a lot of makeup. Personally, this is just me personally. So let me rate this really quick. I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5. I would say about 60% of me would recommend it. Just depends on the person and how you like to wear your makeup. Let's just put it that way. But if you're a glam girl like me, I would just stick to the Sephora collection one. This is more color correcting in my opinion and a little bit more coverage, but yet it shears out and thins out and is extremely hydrating. So I say save your coins. This is $15 and then when it's 30% off, it's $10. So that's something for me personally, you guys know, I keep it real with you. I want to be your trusted source of beauty all the time. And I don't want to just recommend just to recommend. And I always say, you have to try it out. Everyone is so different. Makeup is so personal and so individual. So just take a lot of my ratings with a grain of salt. Like I always say on my videos, what I like, you may not like, vice versa. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, you're going to love this highlighter. literally the best highlighter ever made. So congratulations, Rare Beauty, on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun to kind of create my version, the over 40 version of the I'm Cold makeup look. Maybe that's what we should title this video. But let me know in the comment section if you like this. Thank you. If you're new here, before we go, if you please hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. And click that post notification bell. Join us. We're here typically every Friday and a Sunday, and we'd love for you to become part of our family. Please give this video a huge thumbs up when you guys hit the like button and when you comment below. As always, it really does help my videos out. You can follow me on all of my socials at Kristi Allure. Check out my merch, Glamorous Life Collections, and I will see you guys on the next video. Love you guys. Bye.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do.